Everyone says how horrible it will be to renovate or build your house. We're here to say it doesn't have to be that way. Join 3 seasoned architects as they interview homeowners who recently completed a large project and ask them one simple question. What do you know now that you wish you knew before you started? Welcome to Home, the Second Story podcast.
Hi, and welcome to a snack-sized episode of Home, the Second Story. I'm Sherry Scott.
I'm Marilyn Modinger.
And I'm Taylor Davis.
Today, we're getting together to talk about kitchens and what's new, what's on our boards, and what our clients are asking for. What are you guys seeing?
I've been seeing this for a couple of years now, but it's really starting to take off, is kid beverage fridges. Have you guys seen this?
No.
So instead of having just the fridge with all the stuff in it, you have like a beverage fridge that might be in a different part of the kitchen that's all the kid drinks and snacks. So when the kids are running in from outside and friends are over, whatever, you run over to the snack fridge, snack episode, snack fridge. It's on my mind here. And then the kids aren't underfoot while you're trying to cook and like things are happening. And it obviously, you know, the fridge, you can put all the stuff in and you can take all the kids' stuff out and you have more room. So do you guys see stuff like that, like kid-focused stuff?
Not really kid-focused. We do a lot of beverage refrigerators and wine refrigerators.
So adult fridge.
Yes, adult fridge.
We do the kid fridge, and sometimes we do it as a refrigerator drawer so that they can just slide it open and it doesn't take up a full bank in a lower cabinet. And you can have another drawer below it that's got snacks in it too. So it's like a dedicated spot. Sometimes we put them in the pantry so nobody has to see the mess that the kids leave behind. So that's another option. But yeah, we do kid stuff. We've also been seeing, and y'all probably all get this, dog kitchen stuff. So like built-in bowls and places for dog food and like all the fun little, people like to slide so many things into cabinets. And that's what I think is fun, is sort of, you know, getting creative like Rubik's Cube with figuring out what we can fit in a bank of cabinetry.
Yeah, we do. We have not done dog balls because I've had a couple clients say that they make a big mess. The dog makes a big mess and they're going to like ruin the cabinet. So I was like,
in
wow.
The kitchen.
So in the kitchen. So, but we do dog food storage and we use like a trash pull out. So we put just a big Tupperware, like a big Rubbermaid thing instead of the trash can. And then you pull it out and you can scoop out the dog food. Okay.
Can we talk about trash for a second? Because trash is like something that nobody wants to talk about in kitchens, but like, it's like a huge, big, like, how do we get, you know, how does everybody get the trash out? And then there's disposal, not disposal, what's allowed, what's not allowed, recycling. Like there's so much to do with trash and everybody focuses on the countertop, which, don't get me wrong, is really important. But like trash is like kind of hypercritical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank God nobody does trash compactors anymore.
I remember that.
Where your trash stays in your kitchen for a week. It's gross.
I think there's actually I want to say we just had a lunch and learn, and I can't remember who it was with, that is made a special depth appliance to replace empty holes left when people take out their trash compactors.
Wow.
That's a certain size, like a refrigerator, that you can stick in where people have taken out their trash compactors. So that's a
good idea.
So we're not doing trash compactors, obviously, because no one does them anymore. But what we do in the Boston area is we often have a dedicated compost area.
Oh, yeah.
So in Cambridge, Massachusetts, there's municipal composting. So we have dedicated compost. But yeah, usually what we do is we do a pull-out drawer with, or like it's the full depth of the lowers, and there's 2 containers there, one for recycling, one for trash. And then sometimes we'll do the compost mixed in with that, or the compost lives on the counter. And I always say, put it somewhere where when the kids need to throw something out or when guests need to throw something out, they're not entering deep into the kitchen.
Yes, into your space.
Your space, right? Into your workspace and being underfoot. So that's important. And put it near the sink if you can. But that's not as big of a deal, in my opinion.
Well, another thing that we're working on, it seems like every project we're doing now has a back pantry. And these pantries are kitchen sized. And we used to do dirty kitchens. We don't do those as much anymore. But So not all of the appliances, but all of the storage and, some open storage, some closed storage. One we're doing right now is kind of fun. It's a couple who their kids are grown and flown, and they're designing this house for entertainment. So we are doing actually an open pantry.
Fun.
So we're doing like a big kitchen with a huge island for entertaining. And then we actually have a little nook pantry that has a window that opens to the outside so they can serve, drinks and snacks out the window to the pool and all of that. So that's a fun one we're doing.
Yeah, there's no shortage of, I feel like it's very much what people want to do is have an entertaining kitchen, like have a kitchen that works really well for entertaining. And one of the things we are often doing with that, because we're working in smaller spaces, oftentimes if we're in the Boston area, we just don't often have a lot of space in these really tight homes. So we will often do like a combination mudroom, pantry, overflow space, which is connected to the kitchen. And it functions in several different ways, but it's also where do you put the big thing of paper towels from Costco?
Exactly. We do a Costco closet sometimes.
Yeah. And we, in these tight homes that are smaller, we can't do a Costco closet. So we do what I call kitchen attic storage. So it's those high cabinets that you don't want to climb up to every day.
Yeah.
But you get out the stool and when you need new paper towels. So maybe it's like once a week or something that you're kind of going up there, or maybe less. But yeah, we do kitchen attic for that.
Working in Birmingham, there's a sort of Southern formal way of doing things, and people don't like having stuff on their countertops. So paper towels are the conversation that we have all the time. Nobody wants paper towels sitting on their countertop. They want them stuck away, tucked away. So we've started to do it kind of standard over our trash. We a lot of times make a little built-in paper towel holder. So it's on a little rod so that it sits next to the sink and you can use it right there. And there may be some room for extra storage behind it. And then our trash goes underneath it. So nobody has to worry about their pretty countertops and the whole view with your beautiful lights on your island with your sink getting marred by the grimy paper towels that your kids have been tugging at with their chocolate popsicle covered hands. And I have had children with chocolate popsicle covered hands, so I speak from experience. But all that said, making sure that based on kind of what the vibe is regionally, people might want to have things exposed and usable, but they also may want to have them kind of tucked away where you can't see things.
Yeah, I think another thing that comes up is whether we're working with someone who really loves to cook or just likes to entertain, because those are different things. So we just wrapped up a kitchen for folks who really love to cook. So one thing we did for them was make a list of all of the different equipment that they needed, like the sous vide machine and the dehydrator and the whatever.
The Vitamix.
The Vitamix.
The Vitamix.
Oh, we're making a Vitamix garage for someone right now. So you open the thing, the door,
KitchenAid.
Yep. And you roll it out on a little rolling thing because those Vitamixes are heavy and kind of picking them up and moving them around. But I think, what I learned from kind of helping folks think through the small appliance inventory is you really get to know someone. It's really fun because they say, well, we sous vide once a week. I'm like, wow,
Sous vide once a week.
I know. I'm amazed. Or we make ice cream once a week. I'm like, whoa, can we be friends? So it's really cool. It's a cool way. We're always trying to get to know our clients as well as we can to help create their homes for them. And I find the kitchen is just such that area where you can say, oh, yeah, ice cream. Let's have this be an ice cream focused moment.
Okay, so I have another Southern kitchen specialty that I suspect y'all don't have to work on very often.
Oh, let's hear it.
Which is silver storage.
No, never done that. Never done that.
So we line drawers and shelves with Pacific cloth so they don't tarnish, so that people can put their silver somewhere and lock it up. So it is funny because, and that's an age, sometimes that's an age thing. And so we get some of that, but there are plenty of folks who they want to use their silver all the time. They got it. It's their grandmother's or whatever, and they need a place to store it. And so we come up with all sorts of fun ways to keep it from tarnishing, because even if you do use silver, it doesn't mean you want to polish it all the time. So
Yes.
I guarantee that's something that probably only happens here.
Definitely never.
I think it'll come back, like everything, everything retro. I think it'll come back again. I was just on Facebook Marketplace, of course, and like a whole set of silver for $75. It was insane. I'm like, I should just start buying
What pattern was it?
silver stuff. I don't know. I'll send it to you.
Mine's Francis the First. You can send it to me.
I love that. Well, that's a fun thing to think about, like regional differences. I mean, in the Boston area, New England, we're always thinking about, I mentioned mudroom stuff. So there's always like coats and boots all over the place. So when you come in from wherever and you're like covered in salt and covered from the street, and when it snows and everyone's wet and everyone's backpack is soaking wet and everything. So we're actually doing projects where we have like mini lockers. I know this isn't kitchen specific, but it's mudroom it's adjacent.
Yeah.
So lockers, we're actually doing one where we're putting mesh, like decorative mesh on the doors of the lockers. So when there's probably stinky stuff in there, like hockey equipment or other New England things that are very stinky. So they go in there and then they're out of sight, but then they're also quick to grab and head out to practice or whatever. So we do a lot of that. I'm curious to know from you guys, from a design, like aesthetic standpoint, right now, are you doing mostly painted or mostly wood cabinets or both or mix and match, or what are you seeing right now?
It really depends on the client. We're getting much more into natural woods. Just as a trend, it's coming back. And, but when people do natural wood here, and we're usually a little bit behind here in Ohio, they're still mixing, natural wood either on the island or the back counter or opposite. So we're mixing and matching. I love an all wood kitchen though.
Are you saying that mixing painted and wood is behind, Sherry? Because we're doing that all the time still.
Well, I did mean that, but I guess I'm wrong.
I mean, it's a good point. Like, like it's a good point. Like what is behind or ahead or whatever. People really worry about that. But ultimately, like, what do you like and what are you into? And that's what matters most. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Y'all stop paying attention to what the latest Instagram feed is. Like the kitchen needs to work for you and it has to be beautiful for you. And that's our job. And we want you to get inspired by certain things, but it doesn't have to, like, if it's on Instagram, 50,000 times, that it probably means it's passe at this point. Like it's already hit peak. Like you want to be designing for you, not what was peak a little while
That's
ago.
what we say about flippers. Like if you see a flipped house and whatever it has in there, that trend is over. It's done.
Yeah. Yeah. So no more gray and white, everybody.
Oh my gosh.
Even though gray is awesome and white is awesome and gray and white is cool, but you guys know what I mean? Like gray LVT.
The gray wood.
Yes.
LVP.
Gray wood everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. With all of the open floor plans these days, how do you guys feel about seeing the kitchen and where you can see it from and hear it from? How are you handling those things?
Oh, that's a big one. I mean, first of all, kitchens are really nice and they're the most expensive room in the house. So I think from an open floor plan standpoint, people are fine with seeing them because they're really beautiful. I think some things that we're doing though, I think during the pandemic, something that came out is maybe rooms are actually good.
Yes.
Like having a whole entire floor completely open. Turns out when everyone was home, they realized it was not great. I'm a big proponent of old school over here, dining rooms. I think if you've got space for it, dining room is great. Like there should be a space with a table that's dedicated for eating that has doors. So that when it's not being used for dinner, it can be used for homework on the big table or whatever. Like it doesn't have to always be a formal dining room and it's set up that way. So I would say that. And then I would say the other thing when kitchens are exposed to the rest of the house is at least making sure you're not staring at the fridge. Unless
a beautiful fridge.
Unless it's a beautiful fridge. But if it's, and by that, I think we probably mean like paneled so that it isn't
built
like
in.
stainless steel staring you in the face and like sticking out beyond the edge of the cabinets and stuff like that. So generally I'm trying to at least hide the fridge.
I disagree about the dining room. We haven't done a dining room in 10 years. And well, that's not true. It depends on the client. Maybe 20% of my people do dining rooms. And when they want it, they love it. Absolutely.
Yes. I would say it's a minority of my clients who want it, but I think it's important to like think about it. So yes.
We have to have some place to use the silver.
I was going to say Taylor and the Silver. They've got a dining room down there in Alabama.
What we're seeing more about different rooms is a den. A lot of people are doing like a TV den or something. It's nice little cozy spot. But in relation to seeing a kitchen, we just always try to make it so you don't see the kitchen when you walk in the front door. Like you have to have some privacy for, guests coming in or whoever's coming to the front door. Let's try not to see all of your pots and pans from there.
We do them both, and it depends on the house and the client. But I think what's really interesting to me is how it kind of runs sort of generationally. So people who are young parents want an open kitchen so they can keep eyes on their kids all the time.
Yes. Yeah.
And then as the kids get older and they don't want them anywhere near them and they smell bad or whatever, they want a totally like separate cut off space and then as their grandparents, then they want another big open kitchen again so they can see their grandbabies and cook with them and do all the fun. So it really like we watch this little like wave generationally of how people feel about their kitchens relative to how their family uses the space, which I think is really fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree. We see that a lot too. And we do a lot of multi-generational houses, which has all of these people in there at once. So yeah, that's a big deal for us too.
Thanks for joining us today on Home the Second Story for a quick snack. Questions for us or interested in being a guest? Reach out to admin@htsspodcast.com. See you next time.
Thanks for listening to Home, the Second Story podcast. Feel free to share this episode with a friend. Contact information for all three of our architects are in our show notes. And don't miss future episodes. Follow or subscribe to our show for free in Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you're listening right now.